not least is Mary Tremonte, an artist, educator, and DJ striving to create utopias and commons through collaboration, visual pleasure, and serious fun. So, Mary, I can see you. There you are. I'm going to unmute you. Are you there?
I'm here, yes. So just going to take a moment of wizardry to go full screen, out, come back in.
Perfect.
This is how we do.
There it is. It's working.
Okay, wonderful, great. Okay, here we go. Oops. All right. So I'm going to talk about queer ecologies, world making, affinities, and kinship through a few different projects that I've organized and been involved in, and kind of thinking about this ever replenishing nature of community and of finding one another and being connected to one another. And a lot of this work is in person and some of it is remote. So I've been DJing and organizing dance parties for about 20 years now. Started through radio at WRCT at CMU, and then kind of moved into doing parties as benefits as kind of part of like activist culture and kind of making this space for us to be with one another outside of the space of protest. And then I started organizing with other people a queer dance party centering women and femmes and non-binary and trans folks called Operation Sappho in 2006. We did this party monthly in a variety of spaces, generally not queer identified spaces. So we would create these temporary queer zones or TQZs. Each party had a theme, which was kind of part of building the intentionality of the space and also the celebration of the space. And so a lot of my visual art kind of has woven in and out of this space of like organizing parties and kind of the world-making possibilities of parties as these temporal kind of utopias and safer spaces that we're ever building and rebuilding and reaching towards. And so we did this party I did it for about 6 years, and then I moved to Toronto for a while. Other people continued in my absence, and we still do it about once or twice a year in different spaces. One of our themes was Queer Scout, gosh, 10 years ago now, kind of drawing on affinities with queer people in the outdoors and also people's past formative experiences in the homosocial spaces of scouting. And so I drew and screen printed these really simple badges for queer scouts as part of the party, as party favors. And then after the party, I made this poster, kind of the aspiration, all the badges you'd wish to earn as a queer scout, and then went on to make embroidered badges. And I just continued to reproduce these badges, circulated about 6,000 of them out in the world now at this point. And they really have a life outside of me as a symbol, as a signifier. People bootleg them, someone redrew it and got it tattooed on their body. And just thinking about how people signal to one another, you know, non-verbally. Another facet of that in my practice is screen printing bandanas, originally as a nod to gay hanky code and kind of a pantheon of animals that are part of a queer or a gay iconography with bears and otters, but then it's kind of expanded to a yes and beyond that. So a nod to gay hanky code, you know, of the original first wave of gay liberation and, you know, signaling what activities you favor through color and placement in your pocket. But then beyond that, looking at affinities kind of that we all have of different animals and non-human species, and how do we signal to one another with like what we're wearing. I really love bandanas as an artwork that is activated and really alive out in the world. Building upon that, I organized this queer ecology hanky project with my friend Vanessa Adams, who's here tonight. Hi, Vanessa. So kind of building upon gay hanky code and also queer ecology, which is like a connection between queer theory and biology and ecology and non-heteronormative reading of that. And so we put out an open call for artists to make bandanas in editions of 20 or more, so they could be distributed and sold and circulated as part of the show. So we had worked from over 100 artists in the project. We did a big show of it at Irma Freeman Center in February, right before everything shut down, and really programmed out the space and at all these events, again, making the TQZ a temporary queer zone, a temporary queer art center in this space that doesn't always identify as queer, although it's queer positive. So dance parties, workshops, a queer craft fair, just all these different ways for people to come together with each other and with the work. And then most recently, we've continued this project in affinity of solidarity with movements for racial justice in our country right now, in the world. And so we've been doing a series of fundraisers with artists donating hankies to be part of raffles as part of the show. So we did one round about a month ago. We have another one coming soon. Here's your reading list. That's my alarm. If you're interested in these topics, I really highly recommend these two books. And please do keep in touch. I know Casey will give more info. Thank you all.
Mary. All right, so yes, wait for Mary. You can check out Mary's work at marymactremonte.org. Mary's also a member of Just Seeds, so you can find more of her work there too. Yeah, I see a lot of great comments.